I forgot to unmute my microphone. So welcome back to Welsh Miniature Board Gamer. Yeah, I just figured that one out. I'm out of shot. Bye-bye, yeah. There you go. Yeah, I just realized I was out of shot. Whoops. Hello, Zukov. How you doing? Set my watch off. It's going to get on my nerves painting. One of those things I can't paint with my watch on. There you go. A little known fact about Welsh Miniature Board Gamer. Can you hear me okay now? And am I in focus and what have you? If I don't know, get you something to look at. Does that look in focus? Looks okay my end. I think you can hear me now too. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Yeah, I'm good, Zukov. Thank you. Yeah, I've been out in the sun and yeah. Afternoon, Danny. How you doing? Been having a chill day, I suppose. Although I did have to go out in the sun, which was yeah, something I don't do very often. I usually hide away in my cave. But it's a hobbit cave, so you know it's a nice little cave. But yeah, one of the villages near me was having their carnival, so I was persuaded to go by my daughters. So yeah, we went to a carnival. It was a pleasant little couple of hours. Yeah, so today I am going to be painting scenery, like plants, I suppose. Hence the title of this live stream is going to be something about green thumbs or something like that. Because I'm going to have a go at painting some scenery up. I've had these things printed up for probably about 2 years now. I've never actually done anything much with them. The files I think were from Thingiverse, if I remember right. My brother does all the printing, so I've got no clue about settings, etc., or you know anything like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they were from the Thingiverse. But yeah, they look pretty cool. I got a bunch of different types of weird and wonderful looking plants to paint up. Some of them I'll probably do, you know, proper sort of more sort of earth-like colors, and other ones I will do up, you know, some bright, weird, odd colors just to have some variation. So if we go on to alien worlds, they don't look like Star Trek alien worlds, you know, where everything looks kind of Earth-like. But yeah, looks kind of cool. I think it's going to be quite an easy paint job. You know, it's like I said, scenery is very much background for me, so shouldn't be too much hassle, etc. Let's start off with a dark green. So I'm using just hobby acrylics. I don't use expensive paints when I'm painting terrain. Generally speaking, I stick to the cheap stuff. It works. What are you guys up to? What are you painting at the moment? Anything that's of interest, or is it just stuff that needs to be done? So anybody watching this later, I will point out there is a link to the Discord channel where actually everybody's in the chat at the moment is actually already in our Discord channel. But if you wanted to join, that is the link to have a look at. Yeah, very much Zukov. 6mm British Airborne. Nice. You're really getting into your smaller scales there, Crafty. Start with this really dark, vibrant green, and we'll knock it back as we go higher. One good thing about doing terrain too, I don't have to look through my magnifying glass. So hey, even I can see this bigger piece of terrain, or bigger model rather, I should say. But yeah, just get a base green color on it. The base of this does look like it's some sort of rock or earth mound, so I will have to paint that brown afterwards, just to make it blend in. But yeah, that's already looking very alien green. That is very green. But yeah, that's a kind of base. I think that's going to be fine to work up from. Some of them I've sprayed with a green undercoat, but unfortunately I didn't have much of that green undercoat, so a lot of them are just brown, which is probably better. So yeah, so all these bushes that look kind of the same, I do them all kind of this greenish color, leaving that brown in the recesses so that they will look a bit more like shadow. It's kind of, I think that'll look pretty okay. Give it a fairly decent coat. I'm not gonna worry too much because various colors coming through will look all right. The only thing is the PLA is this bright orange, so you can see some places where the spray can didn't actually reach in and is this bright orange color. So try and get some of that, because a bright orange shining through is fine with the alien looking plants, but these ones that I'm trying to paint up looking a bit more earth-like is going to be a bit strange if they've got this sort of deep orange glow coming from within them. But yeah, we'll try and cover as much as we can. And then we'll move our way up the color schemes, the green rather, for this, and end up hopefully with a fairly sort of fairly realistic, but not too realistic thing. I just noticed I got my wire is hanging right down in front of the screen. There you go. That looks a little bit more professional, doesn't it? Danny, currently creating a play area on one of the shelves so I can keep playing games and leave them when they're not being time to finish. Okay, that's a good idea. Kind of small games, I'm assuming, to be able to fit on a shelf. But yeah, that's a good idea. I did make myself a table once, not so long ago, where it's like a gaming table, so I can put a top back on it and leave games halfway through playing. But I found I never was, so it turned out that in the end I just decided, oh, what the hell, let's just get a proper table, and get rid of my gaming table. But yeah, it was quite fun to make. I quite enjoy doing a bit of woodwork. Quite fun. 4 minis per base. It's SMG or engineers, etc. Then 3 per. Okay, more racking rather than shelf. So it's 2x4 for. Okay, oh, quite a large flat area. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Good idea. If you can leave things out, that's brilliant. I found also, although I could close the top up on it, I found that it was still, I hadn't done the vault quite deep enough, so things were getting sort of clonked as I was trying to close the the vault on the table that I made. So yeah. So anybody been up to anything? You know, any big milestones that we've passed? You know, just asking. You know, just uh, we we've got some birthdays coming up this month, so I'm kind of preparing for those. But yeah. My hands are going to be so green after the end of this. These things are so small, this one is. Should have really stuck it onto one of my bottle things, but you have to get paint in your fingers occasionally. Green thumbs, yeah, there you go. Green thumbs. I knew I'd end up with green thumbs. See? Yeah, you know, just have to think of these plays on on words, etc. Painting plants, and I've actually got a green thumb now that I've been painting these brushes, so it works. How messy a painter I am. By the time I finish, I'll probably look like the Hulk, but maybe not the physique, but the color scheme will look right. So those currently watching and involved in the live stream, you're all members of the Discord. So any notes, anything I should think about, or are we fairly happy with how our Discord is going? I do think of it as our Discord because a room with just me sitting in it will not be much fun. What should we do now? Should we do these green or should we do them? I'm not sure. I'm trying, Danny. I'm trying. I keep putting up the links to the channel, to the Discord channel, and hopefully people will start taking a bit more interest in it. Hopefully, the more the merrier. It'd be nice to have, a fair number, but not that you guys aren't enough, obviously, but yeah, it would be nice to have it like constantly sort of move in the channel and the chat, etc. So I like it. Nice to be in the ground floor too. Sure, it's going to get big one day. I don't know, it might not, but that's not really, it's not in my power, so I don't worry about those sort of things. Just if it grows, it grows. Pretty fitting that is actually. That's my my outlook on plants actually. If it grows, it grows. If it dies, well, it wasn't meant to be. Such a green thumb. Discord is good. We slowly interacting and sharing stuff. It's only going to get better. Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope people get something out of it. I'm enjoying sharing, stuff. So I'm glad you guys are. Is that why you are painting the plants? Ooh, for Discord? I don't think I need to paint. Do you mean because I kill plants and painting them is well, plastic plants I tend to have quite good luck with, so that's the one good thing. If they grow, they grow. Come on. Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. I'm like Dolph Lundgren. If they grow, they grow. uh, that's very vibrant green. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying seeing the stuff that you guys are working on. It's nice to be able to see what you talking about, etc. And it's nice to be able to share with you guys what I'm doing and what have you. That's kind of always been my plan for Welsh Miniature Board Gamer is sharing our passions, which is I think a good thing. I can't wait to finish off my dragoons and get them posted there. The actual horses are already done, and I'm very happy with how they came out. I'm terrible at painting horses. Terrible. Mine always look weird. So yeah, I'll quite look forward to seeing those as well, Zukov, because maybe I'll be able to steal some ideas from how to paint them, because I'm terrible at painting horses. They always look like they are painted, not a natural look. Yeah. So yeah, trying to think what else has been happening here. Not a lot, to be honest. Still, like last week, leaving it to the last minute to finish my video off, which is a bit daft, seeing it has to come out on Monday. But that's kind of becoming my way at the moment, which is not a good way to be. I'd rather have it all up and ready and maybe have a couple of videos in the bank, but that ain't happening lately. Lately, it's last minute. But I think the videos turn out okay. They're of a quality that I think people kind of expect from me. I'm no videographer or whatever they call them. Videographer? Yeah, that sounds more right. Videographer. So yeah. Yeah, I had a strange question from Goblin and Aliens earlier, so I have to answer that for him, which is how do you have your beans on toast? Yeah, strange question, but yeah, he said, do I have my beans at the side of the plate or on top of the toast? Which seems like a weird thing for me because, of course, I have it, my beans on top of my toast because then it can soak into the toast, etc. So there you go. Another important question answered. So yeah, and I do eat a lot of beans on toast. I'm a guy who has got very simple tastes, and beans on toast is one of them. Beans on top of a piece of toast and 2 half toast pieces next to it to use to lap up the. Oh yeah, you have to mop up the remains. Although lately I have been maybe controversially, I've been having the barbecue beans on my toast. Barbecue beans are nice. Oh god, I like them. With some cheese, of course. You have to have some extra mature cheese, or extra mature cheese. I do like my strong cheeses. Yeah, beans on top. Only way to have them. Beans on the side is so wrong. Well, it's for posh people. Beans on the side, Hello, Adam. Okay. Osprey is having a sale including various game books. Yeah, they've been having a sale for a while, if I remember right. Osprey. What was that? Modiphius. That might be Modiphius, actually. Okay, we'll have a look. Thanks for sharing that, Adam. I have to have a look if they've got that the new McCulloch thing, the Warriors of Fifina or whatever it was. Because that's tempting. That is tempting. I'm not into my historical stuff, but you throw in a bit of fantasy and what have you, and yeah, you might get me interested. So may give it a look. Although it's quite a new game, so I don't know if they would have. I think sale is over most of July. Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. Oh, lucky Yanni's not here with his wife. They'd be complaining that I'm shaking my paint suggestively. Don't know what even color that was originally. Some sort of, don't know, sandstone color. I'm gonna use that on these things. All right, Adam. Yeah, take care. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. Have a good night. I'm not sure about that color actually, but we'll give it a go. Can keep adding various colors to it until it looks right. Probably end up end up using different colors towards the tip, so maybe this would just be near the base. Although technically it should be the other way around, shouldn't it? But we'll see what happens. Give it a go. So, you know me, I go way off topic. I was watching a YouTube documentary, I suppose, and it was about this girl who had DID, I think they call it now, what used to be known as like multiple personality disorder or whatever. But that it was really quite, I don't know, quite touching and quite horrific of like her going through what it's like having it. It must be terrifying. She's got like 25 to 30 personalities who I suppose kind of share her body, I suppose, in a way. It's really weird hearing about it. Very strange. Must be very hard to live with it. But yeah, really interesting to hear about her, personal, how she deals with it and what these personalities are. It was really interesting. It's on YouTube, actually. I think it was, I don't know, something like, 20 questions or something. And, they have 20 questions from this honesty box, they call it. And, people can ask what they want to ask about, various people and various things, etc. So, yeah, this girl is saying that, like, one of her personalities is a 6-year-old girl. And they've got recordings, she thinks, of this 6-year-old girl when she's sort of the dominant one or the one that comes forward, like really freaks out whenever she sees herself in the mirror because, like, obviously to her she's she's in the wrong body. She's in the body of an adult, and it really freaks her out. And it's like, that is so strange that I don't know. It's a terrifying thing that she blacks out, and then she finds herself like with that personality. She said she blacks out and she comes to, and like she's surrounded by toys which the child has bought, etc. And it's weird things like that. And it's like that it sounds terrifying and funny at the same time, that you could just wake up and like, where are all these toys? What are they doing around me? It must be really scary. But yeah, she seems to have handled it really well, this girl does. And she was on about like one of her personalities hates her, so hates like the primary personality, and has tried to kill themselves in order to kill the primary personality. It's like, damn, that is terrifying. She was on about now that personality has chilled a bit, has relaxed as it's got older, because that one has aged, and like the 6-year-old one. Yeah, the heat wave's over, so I can get back to my lids. But yeah, it was really strange. And like she's a righty, this girl that was talking about it, and one of her personalities is ambidextrous, and they've got like pictures of her drawing with both hands with crayons, etc., which the primary person like just can't understand, because she's right-handed and she can't figure out how she manages to do it. I don't know, it's just so weird. But yeah, been going down a rabbit hole of watching weird YouTube like mini documentary type things, But yeah, I find it something quite interesting. The other one I was watching was about let me get this right now. It was a bit of a history documentary, so some of you might be interested in that one. It was about Owain Glyndŵr, and about the castles and what have you that were put up, and how Owain Glyndŵr and his cousins sacked a bunch of like castles up in North Wales, and knocked them down, completely destroyed them, what have you. But I didn't know. I knew Henry VIII has got Welsh blood in him. I knew that much. But I didn't know how and who he was related to. So Owain Glyndŵr's cousins were like revolutionaries as well. They wanted freedom for Wales, and they were attacking and what have you. So when they lost the revolution and it didn't go their way, one of the cousins of Owain Glyndŵr had a son called Owen. Now his name was Owen something Tudor. So he sent his son Owen whatever Tudor off to England to try and like further himself away from like the Welsh like stigma that had sort of come up from the revolution, etc. And he ended up marrying a queen who had a son who became Henry VII. So it's like Henry VIII's grandfather was a revolutionary Welshman. Like I wasn't taught this in school. It was weird to find out that how closely and who he was related to. It was like, so in a way, he's related to Owain Glyndŵr, which just blew my mind. Henry VIII, great, English king who everybody knows about, and he's closely related to Owain Glyndŵr, which he's a kind of a folk hero for the Welsh people. So yeah, it was just like mind-boggling that I hadn't been taught this in school. So yeah. Also, I did the paint shaker. I was on about Discord generals. Okay, I will have a looky. I've actually got my Discord link to this computer now, so that's going to be helpful. I'll be able to actually have a look now soon. So yeah, a little historical tangent there. But yeah, it's quite weird finding out these stuff at my ripe old age. You know, stuff that you feel like maybe, teachers maybe should have taught me when I was in school, but nope. I think they're frightened us Welsh might rise up and, try and knock down castles again. That's probably what it is. To be fair, it doesn't take much. We're up for a scrap as Welsh. I quite like that colour. That's looking kind of grossly alien. Chuck in a bit of red. Maybe in the middle we might. I probably won't do it today, but probably go around putting some purples or something. In which case, I should have really painted it purple first and then done this red over the top of it. But that sounds like planning, and I don't do planning. So let's get. That's it. This is kind of a base color, and then we'll work some other colors in to get some interest in it. But it's already looking fairly weird and alien. Looks kind of, I don't know, almost like a jellyfish at the bottom of it. So it's kind of an overbrush. Don't mind really if I'm hitting in the nooks a bit, as long as I leave some of that base color in the deepest recesses, just so then I don't have to worry about washes too much. I've already got a darker color inside the trumpets and the recesses. Hope no one's got that oh god, what's it called, that phobia of small holes or whatever, trichophobia, something like that. My daughter has that a little bit, so yeah, don't watch. But yeah. Okay, I think I can put that down and have a little quick look at our Discord, see what Danny's sharing. I reach over the computer, sorry. Okay, general. Oh, wow. Okay, that does look like a contraption, Danny. Wow. Wow, that paint shaker looks like an industrial piece of machinery. My goodness. You had a girl in your school who was like that. She was scared of sponges. Yeah, actually terrified. We all found out, and the science teacher had to get one out for some reason. Oh wow, that's not. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, my daughter's got it a bit. She doesn't like sponges and stuff. Hey, what's the phobia of those little tiny holes?
Trypophobia.
Trypophobia. There you go.
Oh, no, I have it.
And you have it, yeah. What do you think of that plant then? Okay, yep. The reaction was what I thought it would be.
Never show me that again.
Chase her around the room now with a plastic plant. But yeah, there you go. We can be cool as kids. One of the things someone had was scratching on chalk. Oh, ouch. Okay. Yeah, that goes through me. I must admit, that does go through me. I can kind of hide it, so people don't don't do it in front of me a lot because I can kind of like mask that it's bothering me. But yeah, I don't like that noise. It really goes through me. It's like scraping a plate with your cutlery. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, it's strange. People are strange. It's weird how we got these weird things that they, just rile us up. Very odd. When you think about it, scraping chalkboard and stuff like that, it is basically just a sound. Why should it affect us? But it does, and stuff like that. Crazy humans. I like spiders. I'm currently training my wife to not show fear, as when our little one gets a bit older, he'll start chasing her around if he knew. Yeah, I don't like spiders. I can handle them. I can pick them up if I have to, and I can chuck them out. But I can't say I'm let's have a tarantula in the house or anything like that. My children hate it. Hate spiders. So does my wife, which I think is probably where they got it from. But yeah, they've just got too many legs. I think that's the problem. They have no business having that many legs. And Sound of Sandpaper used to be awful for me. Yeah, kind of grew out of it to an extent now, but didn't like it as a kid. Yeah, I can see that. Like that rasping noise. Yeah. Just as well, you grew out of it. Zukov, in our hobby, you must be using files and what have you. Dry brushing to a extent is a similar sound, I would have thought as well. So, yeah. But no. my daughter's throwing holy symbols at me to ward off the the strange hold slot painting. She's a clown. Strangely enough, my other daughter is terrified of butterflies, which, yeah, like, because most kids' things, little girls' things have got butterflies on them, etc., and unicorns and what have you. But if it's got butterflies on it, she's like, "Oh, that's gross," which is weird. I'm old school, still use metal sometimes, so forever filling to get things to actually, yeah. Yeah. Crafty is not too amused by moths. He's yeah. I have to introduce him to a moth now. It's to see a man of your size running away from a moth would be, I don't know, that'd be comedy classic. That would be. Bless you. My wife sneezing in the other room. But yeah, heights. I'm terrible with heights. That's something I don't like, and I don't like water either. Don't know. I grew up in the mountains of Wales. I'm not used to the water. It's I'm not a coastal boy. That's just a bland butterfly. Bland butterfly. Yeah, it's just a butterfly that couldn't be asked. That's a good bland butterfly. It's a butterfly in golf. Yeah. So yeah, it's heights and water for me. I'm not keen. I can swim because it's kind of that thing of trying to get over something that's going to kill me if I can't do it. But yeah, I'm not keen on water. Crafty's taking the wings off his Mortarion miniature just for the principle of it. Very good. Tabletop standard butterfly. Very good. Yeah, that's bring it back to the hobby. Yeah. That's nice weird things. Some how we can have phobias of some certain things, and it's like not even I understand why I've got a phobia to certain things. It's weird. $3D printer giant moth. A dire moth. 200% to really make it huge. There you go, Crafty. I know what to get you next Christmas. A troop carrier moth. Godzilla and Mothra is a horror film, then. Well, to Crafty, yeah. That. Are we being mean to you, Crafty? Oh my goodness. Alright, what are we gonna do? Should we do these? Maybe purples? They're like weird. Again, if you've got that trypophobia or whatever it is, probably don't look at these, but they're kind of like a coral almost. There you see the PLA there again. But yeah, Godzilla is brilliant when she's in it. And no, it's something I won't watch. So yeah, I'm not keen on spiders, but I don't think there's any animal that I would say I've got a phobia of, or I'm particularly nervous of. I'm more nervous of people than I am of animals, to be honest. People are strange. I don't understand people. I can understand animals better. It says a lot about me, that does. But yeah. We'll start with this like purple, and then we'll move up like to the blues, etc. To make it sort of look really funky. Yeah. There are websites where you can search stuff like that up. I know my neighbor's got a thing about spiders, and I think there's a website where you can actually look up, are there any spiders in this movie? And they tell you like where they are in the movie and what have you. Which is yeah. There you go. You can stay there. They're a bit top heavy. I'm gonna have to put them on a base or something. These weird little coral bits. That looks like if I painted the orange, it looked like a bloody what's it? Arachnophobia signs. There are a few games that remove spiders and replace them with giant circles. Ha! Huh. A game for arachnophobes. Yeah, well, I get that. Yeah. I said I had to, when I was playing Rangers of Shadow Deep with my neighbor, I had to replace them with bugs. So they're no longer spiders. They're the harvester miniatures from Wargames Atlantic. So they're more tick-like, I suppose. Kind of works, apart from the one scenario where it's all about, you can disturb the spider webs and all, and you have to burn down the spider web trees. But kind of just, no, they're not spider webs. They're, tendrils of something or other, and you can burn down the nest trees, not the thing. But yeah, it's one of those things you have to do when people are sensitive to certain things. It's also why it's a good idea to tell someone you're playing games with about these things beforehand. So especially if you're doing like role-playing games, it's a good idea for them to know these things are out of bounds. Like a certain amount of having your fears in games is quite good, because it does raise your pulse, etc. But if someone's got a genuine phobia of it, I think that'd be a bit mean. I want you to feel the discomfort of these things, so I'll chuck spiders in it. That would be a very cruel way of doing it. There are some Skyrim mods that change the spiders to bears that move like spiders instead of us, and they look more creepy. A bear that moves like a spider. My goodness, yeah, that would be terrifying. There'd be that thing in your brain thinking, there's something not right here. It's like watching like these horror people and they start moving weird, that would be exactly the same sort of thing. All you need to do is remove one leg. Problem solved. All these lovely fixes for arachnophobia, but moths, no. Flappy socks. Yeah. I'll sympathize with you, Crafty. Yeah, it must be a nightmare for you during like the summer months when you got your light on and all the moths are like, oh, let's go and have a look at that light that you're painting by. Anti-moth protocols. Yeah. Crafty goes around with odor de mothball deodorant. Yeah. just to scare away all the moths. Consists of links, deodorant, and lantern. Well, yeah, you were telling me about this very safe way of getting rid of moths. Yeah, setting fire to your house is a good way of doing that too, but maybe a bit extreme. Yeah, I think I think maybe we should move on from the moth talks before poor old Crafty gets traumatized. Okay, are these green ones dry now? I feel pretty dry. Good enough. All right, let's look for. So, which green did I use? That green. Let's mix in some of that green. We'll have a. Oh, I still got some green on it. Let's put the lighter green in with it. Yeah, over on our Discord, I put up a post about like what games anyone's playing at the moment, and I was saying I was playing Conan Exiles quite a bit. It's one of the games I'm playing at the moment. Danny was saying that he, because it's been around for a while, feels a little bit maybe he'd be left behind in it, but I don't think so. They've recently done a really big patch for it, which was like a quality of life patch, which added a lot of like good things, like if you're near a container that contains the thing that you need, it automatically draws it out, etc. So that was pretty cool. Stuff like that. They upgraded it to the new Unreal Engine, newer Unreal Engine, and the graphics on it now look absolutely gorgeous, considering it's like a 10-year-old game or whatever it is. But yeah, like I bought it years ago, but this is the first time I've really stuck with playing it. So it's obviously, you can get into it. Blood in the Sand and Dungeon Crawler Car tabletop role-playing game. Okay. Don't know those. Blood in the Sand looks good. All right. Not knowing anything about it, is it a Gladiator game by any chance? Judging by the name. Skirmish game. Okay. Certainly is. 1 versus 1 tactic. Okay. 1 versus 1. Interesting. So I'm guessing to make up for the fact that you've only got one person versus another one, there's going to be a lot of like skills and stuff to use. To keep like the combat, interesting, etc. I would have thought. See, like, I don't know. See, like cards with skills on or something. Dice rolls and skill cards. Right. Yeah. Figured it must be something like that because like if there's only one-on-one, it's going to be quite a quick game and quite boring if it was just you roll a dice, I roll a dice, we roll a dice, there you go. We're done. But yeah, if there's like choosing the right skills and what have you, yeah, that makes sense. I'm a bit behind on my what's coming out at the moment. I hear that there was a new Kill Team coming out, which okay, cool. It's Like I said before, if I was interested in any Games Workshop game, it would probably be that one, but I'm not sure I would be bothered for a new entire box set. But they got some new Escher miniatures, which look kind of nice, I noticed. Yeah, checking my plant. Yeah, new kill team and new Necromunda, but it removes all the old rule books. Okay. Oh, you can run your own Ludus in that game. Okay. So it's like almost like a managerial part of it, like as well. Do you want to risk your best fighters, like in certain fights, etc.? I'm assuming. But yeah, that Necromunda, 500. Holy shit. That's the thing. I would be kind of like, yeah, that's kind of exciting, but then the prices are like, yeah, no. Maybe the plastic, I'll kind of keep an eye out for the plastic when they release those separately. Because I ain't rich like that. I do like my Necromunda books, though. Nice lore. Nice lore and art they add to my collection, even from the past. I have all the Rogue Trader, role-playing, and Inquisitor books collected. That's the thing, is it's annoying because they re-release these things and you have to buy all new books and all new things. But if you're still getting pleasure out of the art and out of the what's good, it's not quite as bad, is it? Because at least those books are worth something to you still. It's not like it's, completely, okay, they're all gone, I chuck them in the bin, or, I try and find someone who might actually be interested in these things. If you can find an actual, joy in owning the book, then, it's not such a pain, really. Yeah. I might have asked this before, memory like a sieve, but any of you chaps play Zone Alpha? It's a game I've really been tempted with Zukov, but I've never played it because, it does look cool. But from what I've heard other people saying, there's still quite a few... There's quite a few ways that you can cheat the game, like, a little bit. Because it wasn't Ash from Guerrilla Games. He was thinking about something about the assault rifles he felt were very much overpowered or something, and very easy to get or something like that. But yeah, Zone Alpha is something that I like the look of it. Why am I not surprised you like Zone Alpha, Zukov? With a name like that, and you like Russian set games. That's shocking. Really shocking. Yeah, man, I get so annoyed with GW, but the lore keeps me going. Yeah, you do not need to play the new. My group still plays D&D 3rd edition. 100%. Yeah, 100%. As long as you've got a group of people who agree that they'll play a game, a certain edition or whatever, even if it's a game that's dead, if your gaming group plays it, it makes no difference to you whether the game is dead or not, because, apart from you're not getting any new supplements, but basically, if you're sticking with an older edition, you know that edition well enough that you can probably make up your own house rules and campaigns, etc. So, yeah. Again, if it's too powerful, gentleman agreement, home run. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. As long as your group can, as long as you've got an agreeable group. There are some groups that they'd argue the color of the sky if you know just for the sake of it. There are some people like that, and they make life hard. But if you've got a group that's willing to accept, oh, this is what we're going to try. Is that all right, guys? And they go like, yeah, sure, let's give it a go. Then that's good. That's good. But there's always that one person who's like, but this will throw off this, and I don't like this because of this, and it's like, yeah, we're playing a game. We don't really, we don't have to law this out. It's not going to be the end of the world if this is unbalanced and we need to change things next session or whatever. I think that's a good way to play a game. Is okay, if this isn't working out, next session we can change it up a bit. Role-playing wise, it's Delta Green and Twilight 2000 for me at the moment. Yeah, I've just finished watching your Delta Green playthrough with yeah. Anyone who hasn't seen it, go and watch it. It's quite a horrifying game, but it's also, with the players that you have, quite a funny little game in some ways. Like I said before, role-playing wise, I've always been a role master and a space master person. Iron Crown Enterprise, it's always been my kind of thing. Just because I grew up with it, my brother was playing it, so I'm playing it. Where are we? If they argue min-max and destroy them and say, that's the rules. Yeah. I've had players who like to min-max everything, and it just ruins the vibe. It's like, that's not, your character isn't that person that you're trying to turn them into, and all your characters in the end will turn up looking and being basically the same guy because you're trying to min-max, and once you found them what you want, you kind of stick to that thing, and it's like, that's not what role-playing's about. It's role-playing. Your bard isn't meant to be running around with a two-handed sword and, whatever. But yeah. I had a couple of min-max players in the old path, so I dropped Tarasque on them, sorted that problem out. I don't know what one of them is, but I'm assuming it's some big monster or something to deal with them. So when you try and outgame the games master, it doesn't work well, because it's like, we're not meant to be combating each other. You're meant to be like trying to enjoy this and make the world an interesting place with me, not against me. Danny, but if no one has heard of Dungeon Crawler Carl, the books are fantastic, and they're getting a TV series from Seth MacFarlane, comics coming out, card game, and the TTRPG HG, both me and my wife love. Okay. Okay. I think I've heard another YouTuber mention it, actually, that Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think Quill18, he plays computer games. I think I've heard him mention, actually, the Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think he was saying how he was enjoying them. Oh, Games Master DM screen rolls. Yeah, they're quite useful sometimes, aren't they? It's strange how they punish the people who insist on misbehaving. Yeah, I haven't actually played Zona Alpha, but I'm interested. I love the Metro games. Yeah, 100%. They're all based on, was it Roadside Picnic? Is that what it was called? That Russian sort of Soviet era novelist, I think it was, if I remember it. I haven't actually. Danny, the crafting, I like. It's getting quite a vibrant green. Let's try and get the green ones at least mostly done. So, yeah, there you go. Is that something I should be adding to my? Oh, jeepers, my brain has gone. To my Discord, maybe a role playing channel to it. There you go. I had no idea the name of the authors, but yeah, Roadside Picnic, yeah. Which, yeah, no, obviously, I've never read, but I say obviously, I might have read it, but I haven't. But Roadside Picnic, yeah, right. Maybe quite an interesting book because it was written from a Soviet perspective of like North America, what North America was to a guy or guys in Soviet Russia who obviously had never actually experienced anything from America apart from probably some of the movies, etc. But it was all kind of secondhand knowledge of America and the American, I don't know, culture, I suppose. Yeah, of course you have Zukov. Yeah, well, I won't be checking up on your spelling for Russian or Soviet era names, etc. Don't worry. I'm not gonna. I'm not the guy who would point out that you spelt something wrong. Believe me, my spelling is terrible. Book club. Well, you know, if there's a call for people to start a book club. I will warn you all that I am the slowest reader in the world, though. So, yeah. If I started like a book club page, it would be okay, guys, give me a month and I'll finish this book off. I'm one of these people who I have to fully sort of absorb what I've read. Otherwise, I'll just flick through it and I won't actually remember what it was that I read. So, yeah, there you go. Doesn't help that I'm a little bit dyslexic. So, yeah. It slows my reading down a little bit because I have to double check what I've read. It's the same when I'm writing anything. I often have to double check what I've written because when I go back over it, it's like, what the hell was I trying to say? Get in there, I think. Let's see, what's anybody saying? Look at the Twilight 2000 and there's a mod there where you can run a Metro Stalker feel to it. That's cool. So one of the things I always liked the idea of GURPS role-playing system, what's it, generic something, universal role-playing, something like that. Because then they released the rules and then they just released loads of books of different settings and how you can adapt those rules to the various genres and stories, etc. Which I always thought was a brilliant idea. I've got a bunch of the GURPS books, but I've never actually played GURPS, so I don't know if it actually worked or whether it was just like a good idea, which unfortunately didn't work out right. I don't know. Steve Jackson Games, if I remember right. We don't talk about GURPS with my guys. It was unforgiving and very killy. Okay. I think One Page Rules is trying to do that with a load of different mini games. Might make us the One Page Rules for their I said I've never played GURPS, so I couldn't really comment on that. But interesting. All right. Very easy to die then. I was saying that. Depending on your players, some players manage to find ways to die even when you're not really, giving them, things to fight. Sometimes they find, the absurd ways to die, which is quite funny. But some players are like that. Will climb that sheer folly cliff just, when there was a ladder around back if they'd only just been bothered to look. It's one of those things. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, Rollmaster was my jam, but Middle-earth role playing was one of my earliest role-playing games that I played, because it was a simplified version of Rollmaster. And yeah, of course, had the hook of Lord of the Rings. But God, yeah, I got some really old role-playing systems knocking around. Books which, Powers and Perils, Dragon Roar, Stormbringer role-playing game, RuneQuest, Fantasy Hero, I think it was called. It was a big thing of mine for a while. I just loved reading the rules. Can't remember hardly any of them now, but yeah, it's interesting. I think reading rules kind of expands your understanding of other games. Even games that you're reading about, you can kind of look at them and go, oh, you're in that category of game, or you're in, it's quite neat. You get quite interested in the mechanics of, etc. Like the system, they never actually played it, but there was Leading Edge Games made an Aliens role-playing game long before the Aliens role-playing game now. And it had a really cool combat system, a bit like a BattleTech style. You hit for body location and you have hit points for the locations, etc. Which was, that was an interesting little thing. And quite unusual. Saying that, Dragon Roar had the same sort of system where you would shake for where you hit, and then you'd roll a dice to see how many hits you did to that area of the body, etc. It was always quite fun. Looking a bit more bush-like. Let's see, have I missed anything? Do like the idea of having a game agnostic system, so different player can play different games though. Hello, Go For It Painting. How are you doing? Inquisitor had a nice system. D100 a hit, then you would reverse and mark against a body part, so it hit of 86 would hit body location 68. Okay, yeah. It's kind of an interesting thing when there's like a body location and you can take out that part of the body, etc. Or gain minuses for like losing the use of an arm or a leg. You lose speed, or what have you. So it's quite interesting, that sort of mechanic of you lose ability, depending on what body part you're hitting, etc. Kind of, it's one of the ideas that I would think I would give a go if I was making any miniature rule sets, etc. Which maybe I am, maybe I'm not. So yeah. Yeah, well, a shot to the groin generally would take out most people. Most people don't like getting hit in the nuts. I know. Saying Rollmaster again, there was a crit that you could get where you stab someone in the groin and it stuns everybody around them for a round because they're all like just grimacing in sympathy, which I always thought was quite funny. Yeah. Just everybody, oh! Almost a Monty Python sketch that would be. Yeah, female. Though I wouldn't imagine a female character would like to get hit in the groin either. But can't see it's that pleasant for them either. But women do not understand the pain of being hit in the groin. It's a way for even small children to overpower their parents, kick them in the groin. yeah. So, me and my wife are watching The Rookie. We're, I think, on the last season, maybe the last 2 seasons we got, but really enjoying that. But we're kind of watching, like, trying to watch 2 series at the same time. So we're just coming into the end of what's it called? This is my wife's choice. This was Hardacres, I think it's called. We've just come into the end of the second season of that, so we're kind of thinking about what the heck are we going to watch next. I want to watch Resident Alien because I've seen the first 2 seasons of that, and I kind of want to watch it. And she does find Alan Tudyk quite funny, so kind of maybe I'll be able to persuade her to watch that. But anyone got any suggestions of what we might watch? Can't be out and out sci-fi because my wife is not a big sci-fi fan. I'm thinking of a Babylon 5 type role-playing game saying a human kicks an alien in the groin, waits, and then the alien doesn't understand. Yeah. It's one of their genitals are up in their armpits or whatever. That was in something, wasn't it? That was in something. I remember that. And they were saying, oh, their genitals are up in there. Yeah, that was in something. I can remember that. I can't remember what it was, though. Was it Babylon 5 that was in, was it? The new House of Dragons is currently being out. Okay. Sounds like a Rick and Morty joke. Yeah, like I said, my wife's not a big sci-fi fan. That's what can you do, She's given me 2 children, we can't fall out about sci-fi anymore. It might have actually been thinking about it. Was it? Oh god, that Seth MacFarlane ripoff of Star Trek. It might have been in that. It was for me until The Expanse overtook it for me. Okay, however, Space Truckers is a close contender. Orville, that's the one. Orville. I think it was in Orville. Which I've watched the first season, I think. Maybe. Definitely watched some of it. I don't know how much of it I watched. But yeah. So hard to find something that me and my wife will agree to watch because we've got very different tastes. Yeah, I remember that one. I saw that. Yeah, they removed his leg as a joke. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's what I felt Orville was. It was funny bits, almost like a sketch show. You kind of waiting for the next funny bit or the next, interesting bit. It didn't run that smoothly for me, like from one good bit to the next. Yeah. I don't know. It did hit upon issues, should we say? But I don't know. I think that whole sort of trekking thing is kind of, they need to give it a fresh paint a bit. Let's not stick to the same thing. Let's give it some new ideas. Do wonder what think, did I hear they were making a Mass Effect series, film? Not sure. I thought I did. I heard something. I think that would be good because that is different enough that it might work. Let's see if they can get everybody up in arms like the computer game did. I never had a problem with it myself, but yeah, people. That was quite funny how people reacted to that one. Thank you. Yeah, they're looking vibrant. Oh, you were one of the people who were against that crafty. I think the problem is even if like you get a good show at the moment, investors will not give it time to mature and to grow. They'll axe it, oh, it hasn't immediately hit this quota, so we're going to axe it. And it's like, give it time to breathe, give time for people to, spread the word. That's the thing about shows of the past. People, you gave it time for people to spread the word about how good something is, or what they thought of it. You didn't axe it just because in the first 2 weeks it didn't quite draw in the crowds that you were hoping for. And I think that's the thing. It's turned into too much of a, we can't just make a profit, we have to make this much money on this project, this much of a profit. It can't be this, hey, it's making us money. Yes, okay, let's make more then, because as long as it's not losing us money, we may as well make it and see if it catches on, like a lot of the old series used to do. It used to be like, well, the first season really didn't really take off that well, but there was enough people watching it that we can, we'll sink a second series into it and see how it goes. And then these things really take off because people have got used to the characters. They want to see what's going to happen. But I think execs now are just, it's a business like any other business. It's not creative anymore. Well, Firefly's coming back in a way, sort of. Space Above and Beyond was another one you missed out there, Danny. That was a show. What else? Sci-fi series. Oh, Lex. Me and Crafty were talking about this. Very, very strange show. But it took risks. It did something new, which was interesting. But yeah. And the thing is, like the new Stargate that was meant to be coming, and now it's they put money into it. They were thinking, yeah, we're going to do it, and then they like, oh no, actually, we're not going to do it. It's like, well, why did you ever think about doing it if you're going to axe it before it's even been created? Because they were thinking that, oh, mate, it's not going to appeal to newer viewers. How do you know if you haven't made it yet? It's like, it might have if you'd given it the chance. It's so strange how these people work now. And New Gladiator did not have the same magic as the right. Okay, I haven't seen that. The old Gladiator was, I thought it was a decent enough film. I wasn't, I wasn't a huge fan, but I enjoyed it while I watched it. It was okay. Can't say it was my top 10 films, but it was certainly a decent enough film and a well-made film, obviously, because who was involved in it. But yeah, Also, Red Dwarf did terrible when they had money, so they gave them budget and advice. Not spend it. I think a lot of British programs, some of their charm is their budget restraints. You know, we're like American shows. You chuck, you know, I don't know, 20 million on each episode. Is like, yeah, that's how it works. But I think with British stuff, because we don't have as big a budget on our programs, they have to be creative about it, and they have to, like, you know, make the characters do the work instead of it being all like whistles and bells, you know. The newest season was brilliant. Okay, like I said, I've watched Red Dwarf, but only the first maybe season. Yeah, yeah, that sounds funny, Daddy. Ridley Scott's latest films have been mental. He just makes history up. Napoleon was hilarious. Yeah, he's another one who's been sniffing his own farts or whatever the saying is, too much. I think Ridley Scott, he's yeah, he believes his shit doesn't smell anymore. He believes his own hype. Yeah. I've lost interest in most of Ridley Scott's stuff now, but you know, each to their own. I feel he's I don't know. He's become more style over substance. There you go. Does that make sense? Does that you know, that makes sense to you guys? It makes sense to me, but a lot of weird shit makes sense to me. I'm assuming you're doing Red Dwarf quotes now. Yeah, let's really stir the pot. What do you guys think about PlayStation not having physical discs anymore, or from whenever they're bringing that in? Anyone surprised? Anyone didn't see that one coming? Must admit, I think I did. It's been going that way for years. No comments. You don't want to be chased or sued by Sony. Ah, there you go. I'll face these topics. You know, I'm a rebel. Come at me. We'll kill the console eventually. Why not have a PC at this point? Yeah, I do all my gaming on PC. I'm not a console player really. You know, peasants consoles. The main reason why I'm more of a PC player than a console player is my family are using the TV most of the time, so I would never get to have a go on my games if I played consoles. So I generally play on my PC because I can hide in my corner and, you know, just play my games without annoying anyone. But yeah, my daughter's like the Nintendos, the Switch and all. As much as they're not exactly groundbreaking technology, they enjoy the games that they make. So you know, and in the end, that's what it comes down to, isn't it? Is you can have the best console in the world if the games aren't that great. It's not gonna, or doesn't speak to the people that you're targeting. But I think going to a fully digital is not very popular. Yeah. Some people just like to own physical copies of stuff, like DVDs and what have you, and Blu-rays. I'm a dinosaur. I love having a physical copy of something. I might even buy the digital copy of it. So they get money from me twice. So don't force me to buy only digital copies of stuff, because I'll probably buy them both in the end if you give me long enough, because I'll be not. I can't be bothered to get that discount. Let's just get the digital copy of it as well. People are scared of the PC and the console. Horrible for poor people as well. Yeah, because consoles, of course, are cheaper than gaming computers. People are scared of the PC and console. It's safe. Yeah, you reckon, Danny? I suppose. Yeah, I suppose you can't get hacked so much with consoles, etc. Console doesn't have Panzer Corps and the original Panzer General, hence it is no good. So basically, you just into those two games, and anything else is not not on your radar. Is that what you're saying, Crafty? When I was a kid, 90% of my games were secondhand discs from CX. When I was a kid, CX didn't exist. So, yeah. But, yeah, I know what you mean. 100%. It's a good way to be, picking up the cheap games that, they're so much cheaper than the thing. Next generation won't have that chance. No, that's true. And especially the way prices of games are going up, they're getting ridiculous. Zukov, I traded in and paid £1 for a new cartridge at the Sunday boot sale. Zukov, we're talking N64, Danny. Yeah, especially parents, they do not know PCs, but if they buy a box made for a gaming, they are happy. Lots of people are still not as tech savvy as the media makes out. I do a lot of work for friends. Okay, yeah. Sega was my go-to when I was a console player. I did like my Segas, although I'm old enough to be an old Atari boy as well, Yeah, I suppose that's the thing is, to me, I grew up with PCs and what have you in the house. So maybe because I grew up with them, I'm not scared of them. I've got my antiviruses. I know how they work. I've got my firewalls. I know how they work. But I guess if you didn't know how all that shit works, could be, getting a console, I suppose, would be easier because you just plug it in. I guess. Yeah, I get that. You a Jaguar? What? Me a Jaguar? I do not know what you mean. Is that a male version of the cougar? uh, hmm. Like yeah, you know, like I said, I'm a bit older than a bunch of you. I'm guessing. So you know, I grew up with a lot of older consoles. You know, Mega Drive was quite a new one to me. Atari Jaguar. What the hell's an Atari Jaguar? I've never heard of an Atari Jaguar. I don't know the Atari Jaguar, Danny. What's that? I was thinking Atari. Oh God, was it 5600 or whatever it was called? Some numbers, really catchy name it was. 1993. See, that's too young for me, Danny. I'm an old man. My consoles were like from the 80s. I did have an Atari Lynx. There you go. But did they have a thing for cats or something? Why was everything named after cats? Dodgy innuendos. Okay. Dragon 32 was my first computer. Played cassette games. Yeah. Commodore 64, etc. Cassettes. It was the main console in 1993. Ken Back 1. What the hell's Ken Back 1? Okay. 1971, first commercially available. Okay, yeah. We had God, I mentioned this on the stream before. This really old console with a dial, and you had these card slips in it. And it was I looked it up, and I can't remember who made it now. I looked it up after the stream, and it was like it was a proper like a calculator company or something made it. It was a very old thing. But bloody hell, yeah, that makes me feel old. Thinking about how computers have moved along and technology has. When I was a boy. Yeah. I do not even understand really like what hardware and what have you is in my PC anymore. Even that's how bad I've got. It's like I've got a good graphics card. I think I've got a pretty decent processor and all. I think, but I don't know them off by heart. And I don't know what is considered, a good computer these days because I just don't keep up on those things as long as it can play the games I like, and I generally don't play games which are super intensive in graphics or memory, etc. As long as I can edit my videos, that's a good thing. That's the thing I look for now, which I never used to have to worry about. What are we reckoning? Is that looking decent enough? Obviously, I have to pick the base because the base has got like some sort of ground texture. Oops, just mixed in some red with that green. Give some interesting tones. Whoa. Too heavy. Amstrad, yeah. I remember the Amstrad. Had Atari ST, had a Amiga 1200 or Amiga 1200, however you would like to say it. Had the CCTV. Sinclair Spectrum. You know, one of those ones where you have to program in the games and type in the game's codes, and it could take you like hours, and then you find out that you'd mistyped a bunch of it and it didn't work. That was they used to have games programs in computer magazines, so you could type them into your computer to play, whatever game. That's how old I am. Slot machines. Yeah. God. I haven't been to an arcade in a while, actually. Not really a thing that I think it's cool that some people like retro thing, these old games and all, and they put them in cabinets and what have you, and gaming cabinets like an arcade machine. That's kind of cool. Don't think I would ever be quite that into it. Cost of those sort of things, those cabinets and what have you, is rather expensive and steep. I can see the appeal in people like wanting to play old retro games that they played when they were younger. I personally have troubles going back to older generations of games. Just me. I was thinking of putting together a Star Wars Legion story game for my wife, where she plays the Mandalorian and I play the enemies for each scenario. Any thoughts about ideas? With games, we forget that the quality of life added over the years has been astronomical, and we forget how bad some features. Yeah, 100%. We look at things with rose-colored glasses, and we forget how frustrated we were with games back in the day. So, what rule set are you planning on using? The Legion, Star Wars Legion? Is that the rule set you're thinking of using, Danny? I love Morrowind, but my God, the question menu. I played Morrowind, but bloody hell, my old brain is having troubles remembering. What the hell? What do you mean by the question menu? Is that the one where to think what a quest? That's for a question menu? What, like character creation? Quest menus. Right, okay. I think some of the older games, yeah. It's like I'm playing as well Grimrock, and it's got the old Dungeon Master levels just updated to Grimrock graphics and engine, etc. It's quite fun actually, because that was my favorite game when I was growing up, as Dungeon Master. So I'm thinking of Legion rule set, but I'm not closed to other ideas. I have loads of rule sets here. Do you know of Rangers of Shadowdeep, Danny? That is such an easy one to make. Make your own settings for. I think there is, even if you go to the Rangers of Shadowdeep Facebook page, they've even got a Star Wars version of it. So then you can actually play with your wife, like as a cooperative type rules. So yeah, I forgot what it's called. Rebels of it's Rebels of something. But yeah, it's on their Facebook page. If you go to the Rangers Shadow Facebook page, you will find like their conversion of thing. But it's really easy to convert Rangers of Shadowdeep. That's why I love the system so much. Or you could use like Joseph McCulloch's other things, like Frostgrave, maybe that wouldn't be too hard to convert into or Stargrave. Convert Stargrave into a Star Wars. That would be even easier. Where was I? I think I'm doing when you try to go into the journal to find out what you were doing, I find that with a lot of games. I wander around so much I forget what I'm doing in it. Also happy to just take different rule set here, different games. I do feel like sometimes, I should be going around knocking on people's doors. Have you heard of the good book, Rangers of Shadowdeep, and Joseph A. McCulloch, our prophet? I do realize that I do harp on about Rangers of Shadowdeep a lot. I can't help it. I love that game. It's yeah. Sorry, I'm not sorry. But yeah, no. I've never mentioned. Well, maybe I haven't mentioned it for a couple of days. I have to get it out of my system. I have to mention it. But all seriousness, Rangers of Shadowdeep is so easy. You seem like a guy who likes to do custom rules and what have you. Rangers of Shadowdeep is just perfect for that. It's so easy to customize and house rule the game, because it's basically you got your rule set, but like why is a crossbow a crossbow? It could just as easily be a blaster or whatever, and a bow could be whatever's worse than a blaster, a laser or whatever. It's so easy to convert like that like some of the magic you could think, well, that's the Force, and what have you. So it's quite easy, especially if you bring in like some of the spells from, say, Frostgrave, etc. You can kind of, or Stargrave, you can kind of work it that way. Yeah. The secret the Games Workshop doesn't want you to know. It's Rangers of Shadowdeep. It's a brilliant game. That's what it should be, isn't it? Me and Crafty keep saying about this, so we have to think every video thumbnail with the secret Games Workshop doesn't want you to know. Just because every other bugger's doing it. It's the GW killer. Yeah, GW doesn't want you to know that we don't know anything about what GW doesn't want us to know. Yeah. It's become like a joke with those thumbnails and those types of YouTubers. It's hilarious. Skirmish style role playing game style orcs. Are we talking fantasy or sci-fi, Zukov? Okay. Are we talking fantasy or sci-fi? Are we talking slightly comic or are we talking very serious? You know, what type of thing? Oh, fantasy, yes. Sort of barbarian-ish looking types. Okay, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. You could have a look at Shield Wolf. They've got some orcs. I've never actually got their orcs. And maybe their goblins are a little bit comic looking, but they're very sort of primitive orc looking. Whoa, shit! Nearly went arse over elbow. But there you go, Shield Wolf. But they're a little bit comic looking, so maybe that's not what you were going for. I got a lot of them left. I didn't realize I had so many. Huh. Let me think. Sort of role-playing style. Like, all right, is money a problem? Like GW do make some lovely looking orcs. Then there's the slightly cheaper Mantic route. You could go for the Mantic miniatures orcs. They're kind of decent. Let me think who else makes orcs. I'm surprised that Wargames Atlantic haven't made any orc miniatures. Like not Frostgrave, what's the other one? Oathmark orcs. I've done a review of them on the channel. I wasn't terribly keen, to be honest, personally, but you might like them. The goblins are really nice, but the orcs were a bit. Right there. Well, strangely enough, it was right to hand. I don't know how I got that, but yeah. Yeah, Kings of War, yeah. Wargames Atlantic do the orc hordes. Is that 28mm orcs? What? Have I missed something? Can't remember ever seeing orcs in Wargames Atlantic. A 5mm. Okay, yeah. I was thinking that. Have I completely missed this? Spellcrow grain. Spellcrow. Is that blah, blah, blah. What's it called? Oh, God. The people who make what's it? The futuristic game, Infinity. Is that Spellcrow? I forgot the bloody what their name. Yeah, hello, Yamook. You've popped in on like a couple of minutes to go. Yes, Infinity. Yeah, okay, yeah. Spellcrow, yeah, it's made by Belly. Yeah, the people who make Infinity. Corvus Belly. Hey, it came to my head, popped in my brain. Corvus Belly. Is that right? Sounds right. Uh, but yeah. Any other ideas about orcs? Well, I say, try Mantic. See what you think of Mantic, because Mantic are easy. Like I said, Shield Wolf, they're slightly comic, but they're kind of nice. I haven't tried the orcs, but I have got the goblins. Oathmark. See if the aesthetic is to your liking. Personally, I wasn't that keen on the orcs, but the goblins were really nice. I really enjoyed those. And they do like the Oathmark command and champions, etc. miniatures as well. So they're quite nice. I have got them somewhere, but not to hand. Unfortunately, I can't just grab the box of that and show you. But yeah, it's give those a go and see. Failing that, you could always try the Pathfinder Nolzur's range, and see if those are more to your liking. The trouble is with those is the plastic is a little bit weird to paint on. They don't take paint that nicely, and they are a little bit more. The detail isn't brilliant on a lot of them, but it depends what you're looking for. If you want a bunch of different looking characters, etc., then maybe that way might be a better way to go than going like a regiment or box set of miniatures. That's the cheaper way, of course, to buy orcs. But yeah, Shield Wolf is not an easy company to get from. I find that I use North Star military figures. That's where I always got my, that's where I get my Shield Wolf stuff from. Although I've only ever bought that one box. But yeah, the trouble is, lately I've been finding with North Star military figures that it keeps logging me out, and it keeps losing my details, so I keep having to re-enter them and all. Yeah. Your request boxes. Yeah, the miniatures are okay. Yeah. so Yamuk, yeah, I've been painting some terrain, so some jungle bushes. Just using hobby paints. Not going to use expensive stuff on there. Haven't done the bases of them yet, so there's some assorted bushes. Oops, that's a sticker that my daughter has made me. Sorry, there you go. Some assorted bushes, weird plants. Alien plants. Yeah, we just got a few coats on. All 3D printed, all from Thingiverse. All painted up, all printed up by my brother. So yeah, don't ask me about any settings or what I used to print those up, because I ain't got a clue. It's all my brother's doing. I blame him. So that's what I've got made up. That's what I got done. So yeah. So anyone in the future watching this, I have pinned the link to our Discord channel. So if you want to join in, discuss how great Rangers of Shadow Deep is, just join in, and we can talk about it all day and all night. Yeah, my brother's good. Don't tell him I said that, but my brother's good, he goes on Etsy and like, and was Timu and all. Keeps buying me terrain, and I'm like, why are you buying me this stuff? Thank you, you know. But yeah, so yeah, no, he's a good one. So I'm gonna have to call it a day now in a minute. I can hear my cat outside our kitchen door meowing at me to come in. So yeah, I may as well sort of call it a day at that point because she's not going to shush up until I let her in. Sorry, you came in a bit late, Yamook. Hope you can watch the VOD when you want to. Thank you, Danny. I enjoy spending time with you guys. It's fun hobby time. Yeah. So yeah, have a good night. Monday video will be, hopefully if I get it edited, will be my varnishing one. Me trying to save my miniature because I got that frosting that happened to them. It's sort of like, did it work the way I tried to cure that problem, etc. So that'll be out on Monday if I finish the editing, etc. So yeah. So like, subscribe. You all already have, but hey ho. I'm a YouTuber. I have to say that it's in my contract. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's all I want to say actually. So thanks for spending time with me. Hope that you all have a good week. Crafty, I think you've already. You got to unsubscribe and then subscribe. Just to be a knob. If my subscriber count goes down now, I'll throttle you. But yeah, thanks for spending time with me. Always fun. Go to the Discord. Video coming out Monday. I think that's all I have to say. I will probably be on next Saturday. I can't think of any reason why I won't be on, unless I'm sucked into some alternate universe where we're all worshipping cheese or something. I don't know why I said that. That was very random. Okay, so until next time, you've been watching Welsh Miniature Board Gamer. Goodbye.